It's time for social media buzz. And yes, what's buzzing?
What's buzzing in the world of social media? Of course, Festus Keyamo is buzzing. There's a tweet he made on Twitter where he said, official BAT came and met chaos in the Lagos transport system. It was not easy to change overnight, but he carefully drew a roadmap, a template to transform it. Successive governors he supported to emerge have implemented it to the letter. And then he hashtagged the transformative leadership. Okay, and of course we know that when it comes to Festus Keyamo, there's no holds barred. He talks with both sides of his mouth. I recall there was an interview he had on one TV station recently where he was defending vehemently the strides of Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the fact that he didn't have a certificate, but he tried to defend it, and a lot of people were asking questions. Are you saying that it's okay to not go to school, or are you saying that he has the certificate but maybe he misplaced it one way or the other? So a lot of controversies surrounding Festus Keyamo support of Bola Ahmed. I think he's the DG of his campaign, or he has a position in the campaign team of the spokesperson for the campaign team.
The Plateau State Governor Simon
So he's doing his job. You won't blame me. He's doing his job. You know, sometimes the job is easy when your principal is doing a lot, when your principal has a lot of achievement in his profile. He has strengths, he has, policies that he has implemented and good things that you can vouch for. But when he is someone that you have to do a lot of, laundering, a lot of washing here and there, then, it's a tough job.
It's a tough job. Tough job because, the demands of Nigerians at this point in time is slightly different from what it used to be in time past.
Eyes have opened.
Eyes have opened, as they say. And when you look at the caliber of, opponents, it requires, a very good marketing strategy, if you want to call it that. So it's
marketing strategy.
Indeed, because
I'm just, the vivid picture of what he did on that TV station is just playing in my head, and I'm like, really, did you have to go that far?
The question would have been, is your dad a great man? Because that was a ridiculous stance of defense, stating that back in the days, folks didn't need to go to school to be able to pass GC. That the virtue of greatness is the fact that they can even do that at home.
Advocate of Nigeria.
Exactly. Sometimes in the process of discharging the duties, there's the place of being diplomatic and logical. When you just say those things, you come across as being crass and what have you.
Yes.
So it's quite ridiculous.
Is applicable.
Exactly.
Yeah, you might not have all the facts, or you might not be able to tell the truth.
That way you dance around it without having to sound so, funny, in so to speak. But I think, in doing the job, you definitely have to also question his ability to do the job to the best of their, to what's required. But this is Nigeria. Our socio-political reality differs, and that's why, it looks like he's doing a good job. In the eyes of neutrals or the opponents, is doing a bad job. But for those who employed him, he's doing a good job. Now, when you look at this particular tweet that has generated reactions from Nigerians, talking about how Lagos was before Tinubu became the governor and how it was after Tinubu became governor. That again is questionable. That those who said, hey, BRT wasn't in existence, wasn't operational when Tinubu was governor. So if whatever picture you're using after Tinubu is the achievement, or those are achievements of his successors, not Tinubu himself. It's always a back and forth.
Then those who use that argument would tell you that he drew the master plan, he had the architecture and all of that in place.
The blueprints.
The blueprint, thank you, that's the word. And then the successive governors started to build on that. So in other words, he built the foundation and then they built on that foundation. But the question is, it's not about who starts the work, it's about the person who finishes it.
But beyond even who starts the work, you also have to understand that may not hold water. And the reason is this. The kind of politics we operate here isn't one based on ideologies that are seemingly extreme, that whoever emerges as the flag bearer of that party will follow through. What we have are just individuals who come up with how best they think the state or the nation should be governed. Now, yes, there are those who would argue that he came up with the blueprint. There are those who question what blueprint. I mean, if you come up with a blueprint, how was it? For example, that I saw a response where a fellow tweeted that under Tinubu, Oshodi was like this, and under Fatula, Oshodi or
Ambode, talking about that, let me read some of the comments. The one you just talked about now, it's by Ayorike Obasi.
Okay.
And then he or she says, let's keep the record straight. And then there's a picture here of how muddled up and cumbersome the whole of Oshodi was
at the time.
Under Tinubu. That was a picture. And then Oshodi under Ambode, you see the lights. It looks like small London. The picture there. So of course people are now comparing, saying, okay, if you say that, okay, it's on the screen.
Yeah.
If you say that during Tinubu's time there was transformation, what is your definition of transformation?
Exactly.
So we have pictorial evidence of what it was like under Tinubu's tenure and what it is like, or what it was like when Ambode, took office. And then we have Adegboyega Adewale saying, during Tinubu's 8 years as Lagos State Governor, BRT wasn't operated in the whole of Lagos. You talked about that. What do you mean by introduce, if I may ask, Mr. Jags? And then you have this one. So let me take all the comments. You have Dr. Yusuf Dati Baba Ahmed Stan. Of course, that's just someone using that as his handle. So in person we build Lagos, they go London for medical checkup. He forgot to build better hospital in Lagos. That's one big point.
Exactly. So you look at all of these arguments. Again, we're going into a campaign season, so you see more of these. You'll see propagandas. It's going to be in the air. All you need to do as someone who is logical and objective, neutral, is you weigh, both sides of the argument and try to decipher the truth from it. The truth is...
And the internet never lies.
The internet never lies. I like the fellow who, came up with that pictorial evidence of what Oshodi was. Even before it became that of Ambode, you had Fashola do the whole clearing out, expansion of roads and all. The truth is, over the course of 8 years during Tinubu, there would be 1 or 2 achievements that he has to show for. That's what you would expect the DG to,
the spokesperson.
The spokesperson, I beg your pardon. To capitalize on, not, bringing up false, statements that can always be countered and all of that.
And they are the same people who are telling the other camps of, for instance, the obedient, saying they shouldn't use propaganda, they shouldn't use fake news.
They should be true to their stats.
So maybe they should also live by example. If it's not true, then leave it out. I
mean, fake news isn't what we need at this point in time. For all of the various movements and camps, be it Articulate, Ashiwaju, Obedience, and what have you, whenever they're coming to speak to the people, they should be truthful, both in their stats and, in whatever achievements, past or present, they think they have to market
and I
to
think
the people.
we've not even seen the whole campaign thing yet.
No, it's just going to start.
Campaign starts in September, and so it means there's still more to see.
Definitely.
So we'll keep our fingers crossed.
And you can be assured that social media would have a prominent role to play in all of this.
Of course.
I think at the end of the day, Nigerians have the voice, they have the choice, and they know quite well that we're at a historic moment in our history as a nation where we need to be decisive in picking good leaders to address our challenges.
Yeah, to change the narrative. And this quote is by Carol Burnett, and saying, when you have a dream, you've got to grab it and never let go. Never let go of your dream. Never let go. There will be challenges, there will be setbacks, and sometimes there's the place of doubt creeping in, or fear, and you begin to think, are you good enough? Do you think it's even feasible? It looks like an improbable journey, but sometimes it's all about persistence and resilience. So when you just see through it, you'll be amazed at what you can achieve. You deserve an honorarium because it just blessed me with that statement. But we'll wrap it up on that note. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. My name is Omobolanle Adeshi. Have a swell day. And I'm Samson Lady. Do have a great day.